Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LANCESCURV in the yard. You know, today my thought is, I was so happy to wake up at zero. I was so happy to wake up at zero. What do I mean by that? You know, I'm always coming with something, right? Zero represents to me a clean slate with everything wiped off. When I lived in America, and many who lived in the UK or other places where it's a lot of activity, aka a lot of stress, it could be a funny thing because zero, for you to wake up at zero, is something that's almost impossible. You're highly stressed. You're waking up not naturally, you're waking up by an alarm clock. You can't get to a certain level of sleep, REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, because of the ambulance, the noise going by, cars honking, cops, the sirens, gunshots, people that live in close proximity to you. You can't get away from this thing that drains you from having to start out at base level. In America, and I'm saying America because this is my experience. In America, most people don't even get a chance to get at zero. They're born at zero. And once they're born at zero, they're pulled down below to negative 150, to negative 950. Not being able to say, whew, I'm anticipating a new day. I'm working on projects. I feel full waking up like I did this morning. Zero is not an empty tank. Zero is the absence of all stress around you and in your life. And there are positive stresses, right? You eat, you have to go to the restroom. You don't eat, you feel hungry. You don't drink, you're thirsty. That's about it. But everything is cyclical, life. There's seasons for those of you who live up north, especially. Where it's a little colder, you have fall, the leaves fall off the tree, winter, everything looks dead, but it's not. Spring comes back, everything springs to life, and summer and everything is in full force. You plant, you harvest. But in these places of high stress, you plant and you never harvest all that you planted because you're planting for someone else. You're planting for someone else's dream. You're planting for somebody else's wealth. And you get so used to being below par that becomes a way of life, and that is sick. You do so much, you work so hard, and you never seem to reap the benefits. And how they keep you on this wheel, how they keep you on this trajectory, is by dangling things in front of you. Oh, that car you have, it sure would look better if you trade that one in and get a new one. Making a little more money on your salary or your hourly wage? Why don't you move up to a better apartment? Why don't you move somewhere where it's more affluent? All of these perceptions. They manipulate your perceptions of life by projecting the ideal on social media, on TV, through your friends, through your acquaintances. And it's an addiction that when you leave it alone, you do feel the detox, but once you have it gone from you and you are at zero, zero is such a high feeling. Zero, you feel like you have it all because you're completely at peace from within without these toxic yearnings that keep you in the negative. Most of us in America, and again, I speak about America because that's where I was born and raised. I'm an American citizen, technically on paper, but I'm a global entity. I'm free. There are no boundaries. There's no borders for me. I don't walk around, hey, everybody, I'm American, I'm American, I'm American. What is that? Is that something to brag about from the treatment that I've gotten there while I was there? And when you see countries, most Americans see countries that may not have as much. You see, that's why you ought to be proud that you're here. What? Proud of the stress? Proud of the never-ending working? You're working and you're working on a job where you have fluid hours, you have your set hours, but at the same time, they'll say, well, we need you for 4 more hours tonight. And you say, okay. And you think that's going to bring you closer to your dream of accruing items around you. Is that all it is? Today, I went around to every tree, to every plant, and I saw how unique it was. Now, like I said the other day, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to get that plant identifying app that you put it on the leaf. It tells you everything about it. And I'm going to get a little tag that I can put in plastic, waterproof, and write which one it is. Now, some are obvious. I didn't realize I had so many mango trees back here. I didn't realize I had so many avocado trees. I didn't realize I had so many papaya and pear and these berries that I don't know what they are, but they say they're good. There's a tree right behind this camera. Full tree that you can climb, full of these berries that we don't see in America. There's another one up there blooming. It's not as big, but it's coming up strong. This is a whole new world for me. And I have the time to do it. Because I got away from the illusion of never attaining zero, but always striving for something. And they soup you up. You get a bonus by the end of the year. You can make more money by the hour if you do good in your review, and they give you a few pennies on your review, your quarterly review or yearly review, whichever way your employment does. And it's not enough to keep up with inflation. And when you get that extra money on your review, your co-pays go up. The insurance goes up that comes out of your check, your health insurance, which you'll probably need from all the stress that you're in. See, everything in nature heals itself when left alone to nature. For everything that can happen to you internally, there's a leaf, a root, or a plant here. This is my Walgreens. This is my CVS. This is my Walmart pharmacy right here. This is my Whole Foods. And in America, these are some of the places that you'll have. And people say, well, I'm going to Whole Foods. I'm going to spend lots of money because that food there is GMO free. But it's sprayed up with all kinds of chemicals. It's not picked and consumed immediately. How long did it take to get from South America or wherever it came from to get to you? So you're paying now for something that should be free. You're paying now for something that should be healthy. You're actually paying for good health. But are you paying for good health? And is it worth it there? No, because you got to slave to get the money. And God knows what else we're doing over there to alleviate ourselves of the stress that's there in America. Cocaine, methamphetamines, uppers, downers, alcohol, weird sexual deviant practices and fetishes that we use to take our minds away from toiling and never getting to zero. Zero is a good thing. Zero doesn't mean nothing at all as far as possessions. You can have possessions, but what did you have to do to get that? We weren't made to just work like this for someone else and get pennies on the dollar. Your check looks nice, but how much do you have after that? And how long can you go without having to go and get a paycheck? If they took all your money from your job away, how long can you live? And let's count this also. If they took your pension and your Social Security away, right? I get one of those and I'm going to get the other one very soon. But I'm trying to set myself up where I don't even need those. In the system, which I have my foot partially in, right? I still need that. But guess what? There may come a time where that false money, false fiat, doesn't exist anymore. Why do you have to pay taxes and come up with this money to pay taxes, but yet and still they can freely print money that's not backed by anything? Tell me why. They get over. Why can't we print money, right? In America, across the globe, oh, that's illegal to do so, but they can do it, and they can say you owe so much. So now with this money that we freely print and use amongst ourselves as what they call the elite, I'm not saying that they are the elite. They're decadent, they're demonic. That system is to suck you out, right? And we honor it so much, and they dangle the ideal in front of us, and they move the goalposts every time we play the game. But we don't see that, though. So folks call me crazy to move to another part of the world where I'm partially out of the system, and I admit I'm still in the system. But guess what? All the work that I have to do ultimately on this land or whatever other lands I'm going to purchase is plant and harvest. Once you get that one mango tree, and I counted about 12 of them on the property, and there's some little baby ones coming up. Once you do that initial planting, creation gives back to you. Once you have that one big mango tree, that produces mangoes for you continuously. You can never eat them all. That's nature. So somebody sat up in a diabolical way and said, how can we get between man, righteous man, and nature, where they work for us with money that's not backed by gold, not backed by anything, and we produce things and put a status on it to make a person feel as though if you have these things, you're better, you're more affluent. But tell me this. The heart, the liver, the kidneys that we have, the lungs that we have, if you cut a person open who is in fairly good health and another person who is in fairly good health, but one person lived in an exclusive neighborhood and the other person lived in the hood, could you tell me the difference between an affluent kidney, an affluent set of lungs, an affluent heart? Huh? You can't. So all of this stuff is in our heads. I don't need the most expensive truck. I need the peace of mind that comes from being out in nature, which gives me a spiritual vibration when I'm around these plants that I help to cultivate, that I help to make sure that everything is working okay. If it's dry, we'll do a hydroponic system and make sure everything is moist to the dry season. And before then, just make sure they're watered. They will give you back so much more. Your job is not giving you back anything. Job means J-O-B, right? Just over broke. Just enough to get you back and forth. Now, when you're in the system, you want to live below your means. But it's so intoxicating to go to these malls, to watch the TV, or even on social media and see these purchases that you can make. That system is against you. That whatever you get, that's not worth much as far as the currency. You're tempted to spend it because you want status. I'm not saying everyone, but most people, right? Ladies go on and get their weaves done, and they can't help but bring attention to it because they paid enough to it. So they're always messing with it. And my hair, and yes, if you have a bracelet on there, that bracelet is shaking and making sure that, who are you living for? Who are you really living for? You living for the system? You living for that thing that's going to continually drain you where you never make it to zero? See, you think zero is something bad. To those who are caught up in the system, zero means nothing. It means you have nothing. For those who are spiritually connected and are out of the system, zero means you have way more than the people who are used to living below zero, negative 1,000, negative 10,000, just drained, fatigue, anxiety, and stress as a way of life. Isn't that something? Now you can be amongst them in the physical land of America and be at zero because you're playing their game right against them. You're making sure that you get yours. You're making sure that you're not sucked in to their system and their game, seeking their status. I was speaking the other day, and we were speaking about women who get the BBLs, women who get all of this plastic surgery done. And you know what was said in the conversation? This is what I said. For these women who say, no, I'm doing all of this for myself. I'm getting the BBL for myself. I'm getting the boob job for myself. I'm getting the tummy tuck for myself. I'm getting a what do you call it? Gastro, whatever, so you can take out some of your guts so you can lose weight. Your stomach is like shorter. It doesn't absorb as much. You're doing all of this for yourself, right? Okay, the lips, the Botox, the nose job, anything chopped up, which I know is based on insecurity, because once you start down that road, you can never stop. You don't just do one thing and that's it. When the beauty is, if you were to live in nature, consume only natural things, get your nice exercise, doesn't mean you have to be in the gym killing yourself, because that's an addiction, that's bad too. Your natural beauty will come out, and there's nothing more beautiful than natural beauty. But for these people who say, and there are men who do this stuff too. Now, I'm not going to say they do BBLs. I think I saw one dude, I think he was a little sugary in the tank. He did it. I don't know what world he lives in, and I don't want to find out either. But this is the deal. I said, if these women are truly, truly, truly living for themselves, right? And they're doing this plastic surgery for themselves. How about we take them, I don't mean this to be cruel, and put them on an island. And on this island, you have all of the amenities, all of the shopping malls, all of the restaurants, all of the dealerships that have the luxury, because everything a worldly person in the system would want for status and affluence, right? But you're doing this for yourself. I'd even give them a stipend. Give them a good amount of money. Hey, we're going to just give you money. Spend it, do whatever. You're doing all this stuff to yourself for yourself. The catch is everybody else on that island is blind and they can't see. How long do you think that's going to last? You got your boob job, your breasts hanging out, your big behind. That's not even in proportion. It's crazy looking, but nobody can see you. And you don't like it there. Why? We're giving you money. You have everything you want at the highest level as far as the world is concerned. Now it took the fun out of it because you're not really doing it for yourself. This is what you say. Now I can understand a person normally who will say, you know what? I want to take care of my health better. I want to have a better life as I get older. I don't need any ailments from any indulgences of the liquor, the cigarette smoking and the weed smoking and all this stuff, taking oxygen out of my brain and messing up my liver and my kidneys. I want to eat healthier and I want to go to the gym or build a home gym, or even if you don't have a gym, do some type of exercise. Because we're sitting behind the desk so much, we're sitting behind the wheel of a car. Our breakfast is usually some fast food, not everybody, but some fast food ordered in the takeout in the morning time, and we're going to a job, didn't even walk 25 feet yet. And we're sitting here eating them fries in the car and eating, and when we get there, we're a little hungry now, we're sitting in a cubicle. Not everybody that has that kind of job, I'm just using this as an example. And guess what? The only thing we're thinking about, what we're going to eat for lunch, and it's more bad food. Then you want to eat dinner. You don't want to cook. You want to get the necessary natural things that have the minerals out of the ground and the vitamins. And let me tell you something. There are unknown factors in food that comes out of the ground. You ever notice how every few years, scientists, they find a new nutrient? And then there's a mad rush to overdose on this nutrient, to buy this nutrient, because if you take this nutrient, this is for that. And they market it to make money. Now see, here's the thing. If there is a deficiency in certain things happen. But our thinking and the way we've been fooled when it comes to these types of things, and I'm kind of rambling now, is that if we take more of it, we will be super in that particular category. That if this gives us strong bones, if we take more and mega dose this, it's going to make us Superman or Superwoman. Or if this is good for your nerves, if we take more of it, we go higher in it. And no, it doesn't mean that. It brings you to where you're supposed to be. But so many of us are deficient even in the physical minerals and vitamins and substances that we need in the food that we need because we are duped now into not eating real food. This synthetic stuff that they mess over, the GMO or non-GMO fruits and vegetables that you brag about by going to Whole Foods that are sprayed up and who knows what's done to it, even though it may be classified as non-GMO. It's got to come out of the ground and you got to consume it immediately. Nothing sprayed, nothing with fertilizer, nothing with chemicals. This is what gives you that life glow. And there's a point, this is another abstract thought of mine, which maybe some will grasp and some may not. But you have the spiritual, you have the mental, and you have the physical. 3 distinct different categories of existence that are connected. We need all of it. Sometimes we are 80% spiritual, 10% physical, 10% mental. Sometimes we are 50% mental, 25% spiritual, and 25% physical or mental, whichever one. I'm just tossing around. I'm messing myself up now, right? That's to say, at the point of transition, do we take the physical with us? No. The physical fact is left behind. So just like a person who parks their car and you identify this person, whether you know them or not, whether you see them or not, with the car, and you see the car parked, you don't go, oh, they died. They're just out of the vehicle. So I'm saying all that to say this, that there is a point where the spiritual connects to the physical, actually, and it connects to the mental, actually, and there's a point where the physical connects to the spiritual, connects to the mental, and we all work in balance, like a vehicle, like your truck or your car or whatever it may be, your bicycle. They have different parts that work together in balance. This is why when your wheels start to get wobbly, you have to bring them back in alignment, because it actually burns more gas when your wheels are not in alignment, because it's resistance with the same fuel burned and the tires run down. When you come to zero, without any of this worldwide stress on you in the artificial system, you are perfectly aligned. Now, when you're at zero, you have a shot at true accomplishment. And what is true accomplishment? Going out to the club and getting drunk? Jacking off or watching porn at night? No. The ascension is to enhance each one part of your being so you can see higher. So when the point of transition comes, which is coming for all of us, that's the test. Or that's the exam. And there's nothing we have to do, because actually we're in the exam right now. That's when the exam is scored. Did you do things for yourself? Because when we do things just for ourselves, we're out of the purpose, because we are supposed to do for self and maintain self what we're supposed to do for others who are worthy. You're not going to get chastised by your creator because a bum who does not want to work, who counts on your sympathy and sits there by the ATM when you get paid, you might want to pull out a few bills of cash to go shop. He's going to make you feel better. Ma'am, sir, can you spare? I haven't eaten in days. And he's got a pocket full of money from all the people he begged from. It's not a sin. But you are supposed to do for, not completely do for them, but assist anybody who comes in your path who is determined to ascend to a higher level. Then now it's a crime if you don't assist them. Just the same way when you have in your heart a goal or a mission or a trajectory that is righteous, no matter what it is, and nobody has to know what it is, you don't have to worry. Because the way the natural system works is that someone or some circumstances will come and assist you only because you're not selfish, but because you are about the community, you are about the righteous people around you, but you don't invest your money, your time, your resources in anything that's just for themselves and selfish, because it's not helping the total, the whole around you. That's legacy. Legacy is not how many cars you owned. Legacy is not how many women you bedded down and impregnated. That's not legacy. You tell yourself these things. And we all want to be remembered. But you know what? More so than trying to be remembered, let's try to make it where through our deeds that there are people who will not see who did what it was to elevate. And in that respect, you'll never be forgotten, even if your name is not attached to it. They will thank the heavens that whoever it was that assisted this foundation, this youth center, this halfway house, whatever it may be. It may be something on a personal level where you helped a family to get over that hump. And because of the timing of your assistance and your help, you are a part of the growth of that institution, that individual, or that family. And you'll receive spiritual kickbacks for that because you were there at the crucial moment. You ever see these movies where there's a car driving and it decides to conk out on the train tracks, and now you see a locomotive coming down the road? Timing is everything. You're trying to start the car up now, and you're watching this thing get closer. So now you decide, well, I need to get out and abandon ship. Leave this car. I'll save my life and all those who are in the car. But long before, not long before, but just in the nick of time, there's a big 4x4 that gets behind you and pushes you away from those tracks. They might back up to let the locomotive go by, or they may see that they have enough time to move up. Crucial. Timing is everything. And when you are valuable on this level, when the Creator says, okay, you're a useful tool in my toolbox, right? So I'm going to make sure that you're polished. I'm going to make sure you're not rusty. I'm going to make sure that you're maintained, whatever it takes to maintain that tool. Because when you make yourself a valuable tool in creation and for all things righteous, you never have to worry. Do the birds worry where they're going to eat? They don't have a refrigerator. Do the alligators or the rabbits have mental health issues? No. The food is taken care of for them, where they fall on the food chain, and they're given the instincts to protect themselves. You live in abundance when you come out of that system. So to wake up at zero with no stress, no feeling like, oh, I don't want to be here, I'm tired, it's stripping you down. You're at negative whatever. You might be at a -1,000,000, -500,000. This is your life and you're used to it. And it's become normalcy, and you accept it because that's the way it is. So it takes a strong mind to go and say, this is not the way it is. And you feel centered every single day. Every single day you welcome, because you plant, you get the harvest, the trees feed you, the home is built. What do you need? Except to work hard to get out of that system. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share with you today. I may come back again. I have more work to do, which is not work, it's planting in various levels. And the harvests are coming back so strong. I feel so good about the decisions that I made. Anyway, much love to you all. LANCESCURV out. Peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001. Containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.
So, my friend, Take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth.